wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D-Rose Report. No matter what you hear, no matter what's being said on the internet, on TV, Windows 7, that was my idea. By the way, breaking news, Virgil's currently working for WWE on a pay-per-appearance basis. I knew you guys was wondering. Alright, a lot of people didn't realize, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but Skip Sheffield was on the 2004 Tough Enough. His name, real name then was Ryan Reeves. Alright, Ric Flair, by the way, he got interviewed by the UK DigitalSpy.com to hype TNA's Maximum the UK Maximum Impact, number 3, the UK tour coming up in January. Here's some of the highlights, just kind of odd. Flair's always something else. Working for TNA, he was asked. He says, I love it, it's fantastic. In fact, they are working so hard to enhance their brand and become competitive with other sport entertainment companies is huge. He says they have money behind them, and they have a tremendous boss, Dixie Carter. She's awesome to work for, and unlike most promoters, she's sympathetic to a very unsympathetic business. The internet. Here's what he had to say about that. He says, I can't even turn on a computer. If I could, I wouldn't pay any attention to it anyway. It's not that I don't respect the fans, but it's just what they call a wrestling fan. Tell me about wrestling. He doesn't like that idea. One of the problems with young guys is that they're more concerned with what the fans think about them than they are with achieving individuals and their bosses, worrying about what the bosses think of them. Anyway, he goes on. He said 99% of the time I was on, or I wouldn't be here today, if he wasn't one of the better, nothing to do with the internet. Here's what I thought was funny. They asked him about retiring again. He says, I don't even think about that. He said, I already had one retirement. I'll never retire again. He said, I'll just walk away or fall off the top rope, turn into an ash or a dust, and I'll just crumble, and they will sweep me away into a wastebasket, and then I'll be gone. And does he miss WWE? He says, I have friends that I miss, and I have made some new friends here. He said, I don't ever dwell on the past. I'll always have those guys for friends, and I'll always respect each other. But it's like anything else. When you go home, I don't watch myself on TV. I go home and relax, enjoy my wife and kids, and have some grandchildren love to play with, and at a good place where I love doing what I do. Pardon me. And he likes to go home and pick a fight with his wife, apparently, or she picks a fight with him. I don't know which. Hey, the Wrestling Observer newsletter. They said that Drew McIntyre's stock has fallen within WWE and has been quite a bit lately, because he's gotten a reputation of being high maintenance and feeling that he's not really getting over. Some feel that this led to Drew losing the Intercontinental title, while some under the impression that he's being set up for the World Heavyweight title run. And there's at least some early discussions recently about having Drew do the title shot, maybe at the Money in the Bank. Vince is in love with him, I guess. WWE officials were happy with CM Punk for doing what he had to do to get fans back into the match during last Sunday's Over the Limit pay-per-view after the match was stopped, so a trainer could come down and treat his wound. When the crowd began turning against the match, Punk jumped up and attacked Rey Mysterio in an effort to get things back on track, which he did do a good job. I was watching that, and I thought he got cut on the barrier up in here, bleeding fairly heavy, and the trainer had to come in. Oh, you poor thing, had to doctor him out. Oh man, this is terrible. And the crowd, they didn't say it in the article here, but the crowd was yelling boring. They just kept with boring, boring. And they were, when you get to, you're in a wrestling match, and they're stopping and medicating the guy. So anyway, he got pissed because they were yelling boring at his match, and he just pushed everybody out of the way, and they took off and ran over there and attacked Bray. Anyway, various WWE superstars include Miz, Kane, Chris Masters, John Morrison, Melina, Eve, and the Bella Twins are going to be appearing at Mattel in San Diego Comic-Con late in July. Christopher Daniels defeated Mike Sydal, brother of WWE Evan Bourne, by the way, at Ring of Honor show over the weekend. Thursday, June 7th, 7 to 8 o'clock, just an hour. Matt Hardy's going to be chatting live with fans on for WGN America on their website, WGNAmerica.com. But you didn't know that. Anyway, lineups for this week's WWE SmackDown Live event listed MVP, I guess, versus Dolph Ziggler, Kelly Kelly, and Tiffany takes on Layla and Rosa Mendez. Chris Master taking on Cody Rhodes, David Otunga taking on Heath Slater, Kofi Kingston versus Chavo Guerrero, Luke Gallows versus Punk. I don't know. Drew McIntyre versus Matt Hardy, and Big Show versus Jack Swagger. I don't know whether it's a misprint or not, but there's a little bit of a spoiler going on there. WWE tried out a new tag team last week, developed known as Hunico, formerly known as Incognito, and Don Esquez, Orlando Colon in a mask, teamed up to defeat SmackDown's Van Archer and Kurt Hawkins, I guess. Oh, I got sinus trouble. I got more trouble than that, too. But anyway, Sunday's Over the Limit pay-per-view in Detroit, Michigan, and the Joe Louis Arena drew 11,000 paid fans and a gate of around $675,000. The world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York, will be undergoing major renovations over the next 4 years, I guess. WWE's last show in the Gardens before the change begins will be the Super Show on June 19th. Not too far off, depending on what happens with Randy's injury, Randy Orton. There's a backup plan for the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view match, where Sheamus would do a storyline injuring him either at Raw or early the night of the show. Another superstar would then have to fill in for Orton for the main event. This would lead to Orton versus Sheamus feud in July if Orton needs to take time off till then. I haven't heard any more about his injury, whether it was real bad or, as far as I know, just separated shoulder. Hell, that's bad enough. Oh, we got about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, extras on WWE's Over the Limit DVD is going to be including Bret Hart versus The Miz for the U.S. title on May 17th on Raw. Commercials with WWE superstars from the May 17th Raw. Surveillance footage of CM Punk and the Straight Edge Society following his match with Rey Mysterio. WWE added a new general manager, Bret Hart, to the roster page, by the way. And they also added Earthquake, Typhoon, and Batista to the Luminize section. Batista has originally agreed to work WWE live events until late June, but when he suffered the back and tailbone injury at Over the Limits, the decision was made to have him go ahead and finish up on last week's Raw. Most everyone in the company is under the impression that he will be back soon, likely in time for WrestleMania 27, the big payday. Some TNA are questioning the company's recent signing of new knockout Betsy Ruth, known as Rosie Lotta-Love. Her new gimmick is reportedly based on Rosie O'Donnell. Why would you do that? And former WWE wrestler, remember old Bertha Faye? Ruth, the same one who injured Daphne in the tryout, is considered by some to be very green, and TNA is bringing up a lot of Team 3D students, I guess, from their wrestling school, because they work for cheap and within the drive distance of the Impact Zone in Orlando. So they're saying she's convenient. The Pope's told friends that he still has a month or two away from being healthy enough to return to action. The Pope recently suffered a shoulder tear, and is just appearing doing in-ring segments, like last week's TNA, I guess, and this week's taping. Hey, I better get off here. About running out of time. I got more news though, but I'll hold on to it till tomorrow. I gotta go.